Hello, welcome everybody. We are Tanya and Tanya and Johanna are here back in the breakdown land. So we missed an episode last week, but we rescheduled for good purposes. We had some I guess we had technical difficulties. That's the best way to describe it, right, Johanna?
Yes.
Yeah, our guest who is from Sweden was having some issues with weather. And guys, this was an important episode, so we wanted to reschedule it and make it the best. So we are excited to have our guest on board today. But listen, we wanted the episode today is about manifesting money. And it's not just manifesting money, it's manifesting money in 24 hours. Did your mind explode yet? So listen, this show has always been about having an open mind. So we do want to put the reminder out here. And since this is our first, really, we had our first show, but it's our first guest for season 2, that, all of the opinions and beliefs of our guests are theirs. And we always open the floor to listen to what they say. So we ask of you to be respectful. Okay. So the episode is about basically manifesting money. For those of you who have been working really hard for your money, for being in that set of, limitations where it's like, when am I going to get my break? This is a really good episode for you. It's a change. It's different, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the idea of energy, and everything is made up of energy. Feminine and masculine energy. For those of you who are new to that, basically, we all have this. We all have masculine and feminine energy. So the feminine portion of us is the giving, the receiving, the slowness, and the masculine energy is the action, go-getter, goal-seeking. Anything else I'm missing, Johanna? It's pretty much it, right?
It's just the integrity. It's just it's the part where you be the change that you seek. But then there's also the inner child that bridges those two energies. So that's the heart, that bridges basically the mother and father within you, and learning how to use them in a conscious way, in a divine way, instead of a wounded way.
Right. So how are we utilizing these energies is just bringing the awareness up today on how we can utilize these tools. So I was really excited to get our guest on today because I have worked personally with her on her workshop, Goddess Throne. I believe I was on her first one that she did for Goddess Throne. But who we have on board today is Viona Haven. She has been teaching the art of metaphysics, collapsing time and space, and manifesting miracles for over a decade now. She's a manifestation expert, a money oracle who helps spiritual women attract their deepest love and build overflowing bank accounts. Her no-nonsense teaching gets to the core of issues and is not for the faint-hearted. She works from a deep center of love and compassion, and there will be no mincing of words or avoiding difficult topics. I totally will tell you that. She is very raw. She will not let you go by those difficult topics.
Yeah. She reminds me a lot of my Scorpio rising within me, because she's going to trigger the shit out of you if you're not ready to hear what she has to say. And let me tell you, that's a good thing, because I do that too to people sometimes. And when we trigger people, it's not always from a space of superiority or a space of I know all. It's just from a space of this is my truth, right, and I'm going to speak it, and that works for me. And if it resonates with you, it does. If it doesn't, there's no need to fight. Just have respect and choose not to listen. I mean,
and this is the time
the choices we have,
right? And this is the time, guys, to ask questions. So if you have questions during the show, ask them, and be sure that you guys are liking the video, because the more you like, the more this message gets out and people get the exposure that they need to. And we all are about getting that exposure. But without further ado, let's bring on the money oracle herself, Viona.
I feel like we have to clap for her.
Here she is.
Thank you. Oh, God, what an introduction. Thank you so much for that. I feel very honored to be here. Thank you.
Well, we are very honored to have you on here. I was really excited when you reached out to me. And actually, I want to let you know, I utilized your lesson so well that when you had asked for me, and this is all about giving and receiving in that sense, but Viona and I were talking, and she wanted to talk about my experience because I have manifested money within 24 hours, and including subscribers for YouTube and things that I was having my goal towards, right? And she was like, "Hey, can you be open about the experience?" And I said, "Well, I can be open about the experience, but how about I feel good about this too on my end? And how about you come on my show?"
Yeah, that's what happened.
So that's what happened. And that's what we wanted to do. It's like, listen, and it felt really good for both of us. So that's what we ended up doing is that aspect. But Viona, before we get into this money manifestation workshop, because that's what it is, it's really a masterclass of some of the topics that you're going to be bringing up. Can you go in a little bit about your background of how you found like feminine energy to you, like personally got into this?
I would love that. So in my first company that I had before I become a money oracle manifestation expert, I was a wedding consultant. So I was helping people to create their dream weddings. And this was a time where I was completely burnt out. I was, hustling. I was working 60, 80 hours a week. I was depressed. I was, anxiety attacks. Sometimes it was so hard that I had to go to the hospital. It was one time I actually went to ambulance in the hospital, and I was sure I had a heart attack because I was so anxious. I was so stressed out. And I always felt like I was chasing money, chasing everything. And then I come to end where my marriage, unfortunately, was, collapsing. We didn't work out. And then I came into this spiritual field, you know what it is, and starting to understand the feminine and the masculine forces. And I realized that I could actually transform my financial reality by taking it more easy, that it was actually easier for me to manifest what I want by taking it slower. And that was like brand new for me for Sweden, hustling, you have to work hard, you have to, be independent and strong and do all this. So this was completely changing my reality. And this time after the divorce, I was actually living on welfare in a camping trailer and had like huge steps. It was like the worst kind of scenario. And I managed to change that and build myself up to the point where I am today, where I can manifest money without the hustle, without working my ass off, chasing clients, chasing money, and feeling like money is, like a fuck boy. You have to, or your teenage boyfriend, who was there somewhere, and then you were breaking up and you had this, rat chase between you. So it's like a healthy, balanced relationship. And I love that. I love that we're breaking through those illusions, that it actually can be easy to manifest money. And the key is feminine energy, like you said.
It's waking up. It's waking up and seeing that you made money in your sleep, and it was so easy. Or laying in the pool. It's a shift in your consciousness for sure, because in the beginning, that does not feel normal for people.
No, not at all. It's like my clients are always like, when I say like, okay, it's always coming like an answer like, okay, relax more, take it more easy. And like you said, they can be triggered by that. It's like, but I can't do that. This is self-sabotage. It's like, this is self-sabotage. I am, I'm doing wrong. This is self. I can't just lay here and take a nap. And I'm like, yes, you can. You can do that.
Yeah, and that was something that was, that's dead on to how I felt when I had started going down the rabbit hole of my spiritual awakening and being open, because I was very close-minded. I had to have things a certain way. This is where the beliefs I was taught. This is, you work hard for your money.
Especially you, Tanya, because you were very structured in that way.
Yeah, it was very structured in that way. And, to all of a sudden have an open mind to say what else is out there and looking at it. And when I was going down that rabbit hole, I remember I had, because I've been following you for over 2 years. I was watching you evolve. But one of the things that was interesting, you kept coming up on my feed and I was like, look at this girl. who is she? And I had this I told you, I'm like, I really didn't like you when I first saw you, because there was something about you that I was like, she's so showy. She's just like into her relaxing and leaning back. And, and I'm like, that's not me. I'm the girl who's the dude. Like, I like to be hanging out with the dudes. I like, I've been taught to work hard for my money, that there's values to that. I was in a, real strict mindset of that. So to have that all of a sudden be like, all right, let's see what this is about, was a huge jump for me, because I really jumped in your class going, let's just see what she has to say, because I know that I'm comfortable in my masculine energy. What is this feminine energy thing about? And that was a really big shift for me, because it was like all of a sudden, because I did a lot of homework. I did a lot of the research already, but it was when I had gone into your goddess throne, and I believe it was the first goddess throne that I was in.
Yes.
It accelerated me, because I had all the tools that I needed. I just needed the boost to go, listen, this is what this is. This is feminine energy. This is how you can utilize it. And I had all these tools, but it's like, I just needed a reminder of like how to utilize it. And I was like, wait a minute, why am I like constantly on the clock and constantly moving and constantly like, why can't I step back? So that's hard. That's hard for somebody who's not used to that.
Yes. I went through that last year. I didn't go through a program, but I went through that myself last year. I went back. I spent all of last year in complete feminine energy. And then this year I found my way into that balance of both places. But last year, let me tell you, in the beginning, it was a wake-up call, because the 2 years before that, I was hustling still, even though I had been into my awakening for many, many years. I was still hustling, because I was like, I got to build the followers. I got to build the platform. I got to do this. And I did the same thing. I went straight into complete adrenal fatigue and spent all last year basically floating in my pool and just downloading messages and just being like, this is the life.
Exactly. And that is so important what you're telling about, because the key to powerful manifestation that not many are speaking about is that we learn that we have to, do the hustle way also. Like I have to journal, I have to do affirmations, I have to do a lot of things to get the money I want. But the key to actually get what you want is feminine energy, right? Because she is the feminine receiving frequency. So every time you want to have what you want, you need to accept to the feminine energy to receive it. It's the same with men, with powerful manifestation. So this is like the key, and you can do it even more by actually doing lunches and stuff like that, but also bring in this feminine, more relaxing mood. And some people are coming to me, just like you said, Johanna, like, okay, so if I just go to the spa and sunbathing at the pool, I will make money. And I'm like, no, because if you're there thinking about work and you're like, oh my God, what if that client doesn't show up, or what if this, and how can I build my business, and how can I do this? Then you're not in feminine energy. You're, you're lying to yourself. You're in actually masculine mood.
Yeah.
But you're taking feminine action. It's always about the energy behind the actions you have. And it's about silent your fucking head. Silent it. That is where you come to this relax, feminine receiving place where miracles can fucking happen, like it did with you, Tanya. Just like this.
Yeah.
Breakthroughs. By taking it easy and slow.
Well, I mean, I always think of it like a car. When you're driving, if you know you're about to get into an accident, or if you're worried about an accident, you're going to be bracing for impact. You're going to be tight. You're going to be stressed, even when you're playing or trying to be in receive mode, like you were talking about, right? But you're still in that stressed worry. I'm bringing all that energy and focusing it on me. But feminine is, let that shit go. Like, relax your shoulders, drop your jaw, like let someone rub your feet.
And let those, rub your feet. And if we could step back just for a second, because for the people who are new to feminine masculine energy, because you brought up a really good point, is that money is really masculine energy. So that's where people are getting off what she says, that you can't attract it when they're, and the way I like to describe it too, Viona, and you can chime in on this. If you have masculine energy on masculine energy, it's almost like two stags in a field, kind of like going after each other. Who's the boss? So somebody's going to be fight or flight. So I kind of think of it, if you're a masculine energy with the money, and if it's really strong, you can actually chase it away. Does that seem like an analogy that makes sense, or
Absolutely,
wall to a wall?
Yeah, it's like clients, money, and men are the same energy, because the energy behind money is masculine energy. So when it's not coins, it's not numbers on your bank accounts, it's not, papers, it's masculine energy. And what I mean with that is just like you said in the beginning here, Tanya, about that it's supporting you. I mean, it's supporting you with paying for your rent, paying for your food. It decides what clothes you're going to have, if you're going to afford fix your car, if you're going to afford going to the doctor, to the vet with your pet, whatever it is, it's supporting you. So, and the reason women have hard time to manifesting money without the hustle is because we are in a society where we are programmed that we have to hustle for money, but also that we aren't really allowed to sit back and receive, because we are programmed to be masculine energy and chase money, chase men.
Yeah.
So this is really a revolution. It's about leaning back and allowing money, clients, and everything come to me instead, with the power of my irresistible energy to just draw it in.
And that, do you find that feminine energy gets I mean, I kind of feel like it gets sometimes a bad rep too, because it's like, oh, it's lazy. It's just receiving. You're not doing
but I
anything.
Love lazy. Lazy is the best.
And
lazy is like, it doesn't, it's two different things, because if you're too lazy, you are paralyzed by fear, and then you're a wounded feminine, right?
This is or you're in procrastination.
Exactly. You're procrastinating. We're so
we are. I was like,
but exactly, and that is what happened, because if you're too much in feminine energy, even divine feminine, you will slip into wounded feminine and be, exactly, and that can happen to me too. And you become foggy, you become not clear, you forget why you're here, you're not connected with your purpose, you can't take actions, you're procrastinating, you're hiding, all this. So that is what happens. So I believe many are like, especially strong independent women, can still be like, feminine energy is like doormatty behaviors. It's weak. It's like, it's weak. And that is not the truth, because divine feminine energy is also about having an inner reunion between divine masculine, allowing yourself to soften down. It's like, it's not like it's a dance between them. Like it's the masculine.
For me, it's the inner child is that bridge of the masculine and feminine energy, right? So it's like the mother and father within you.
Father, exactly.
Yep. And that inner child is the bridge. And so when we live in that gray area, we know when to rest and we know when to take inspired action. But I feel, and let me ask you this, Viona, if you agree, because for me anyway, I lived in the divine masculine or the wounded masculine for so long, like that, like Tanya was talking about. And I was the boy girl, and I like to play in the dirt and do all that. And then I actually went all the way into the divine feminine, because I had never lived in that energy before. So I had to like immerse myself in what it felt like to surrender that deeply and be. And then I had to bridge them together in that inner child and find that, okay, now I get to rest, and now I'm going to take inspired action. It's really about living in that flow. So what I want to ask you is, do you feel, in your opinion, that people need to take that extreme black and white journey to find the middle, to marry it? Or with your tips of turning it into 24 hours, manifesting in 24 hours, how can someone who maybe isn't ever been in that feminine energy, is this something that could work for them too?
Oh, that's a great question.
A very great question, and you are so good in painting the picture, so I really understand what you're meaning. And first of all, I just want to speak about that. It's very common in the beginning that we do the opposite, because healing comes from breaking patterns. It's come from breaking patterns. So if you have been a lot in masculine, like go, it can be good to just like shift it completely and be in feminine energy. And I believe that is also the key to, because manifesting money in 24 hours, usually we already know what it is that we want. We know what money we want. We know what we are going to pay it for. We know what package that we are selling or whatever it is. It's just that we are having so hard time to relax and be in our body. So we just hustle, and we are focused on the how, and are trying to give, push, do. And when we just fuck that,
right?
Gotcha. And just like, I don't do it. I would just, lay down, and whatever happen will happen. Down. That is where the money comes. And that is happening again and again. But it's a lot of it's like, it can sound so easy to be like, I would just sandbathing at the pool and then I make money, because there is a lot of insights, a lot of fear to overcome, of self-sabotage and being lazy, and, you know, overcoming, my mom said that I have to hustle and so I must do it. I mean, it's a lot of mindset fuck that you have to go through before you can allow yourself to really feel worthy of being in the present moment and relax.
Right. And the mindset is a huge piece, but it's also about listening. It's also about listening to your body, because for me, I conquered my mindset a long time ago. Right. And I know how to utilize it and get out of those mind traps. But for me, because I learned, and I'm going to say this because I know we have a lot of people that are like this, that listen. So when I had my awakening about 4 years in, all my gifts opened. Okay. And so what I did is I went into all of that, into that magical energy, and I expanded my consciousness, and I blew my field wide open. I was aware of everything, but I never did that work of feeling into my body what those energies were. Like, you know what I mean? Like that density, that karmic energy, that shame and guilt. And for me, what I realized is I had to, just like the feminine and masculine, it's like the higher self is the feminine and the masculine is the body, which is the ego. Yeah. And I was running ahead of time. I was running with my higher self, but I was leaving behind my body and my inner child. And so I was in that flow, but I wasn't bringing it back to me and re-anchoring it into my body. You know what I mean? And so for there, I would be like, oh my God, but I feel so good. And I am doing all the right things, and I'm in the right energy, and I'm in the right mindset. And I was like, but you didn't bring that back and put yourself all, you didn't give it back to yourself. Instead, you're like, great, I surrendered all those feelings and my mindset, but then I just took off. Like I was chasing myself, because my body, my inner child was like, wait for us, you're not ready yet. You know? And so there was like this rubber band effect that snapped me back. You know what I mean? So for me, it came back to, I didn't feel safe in my body. And because I didn't feel safe, the master vibration was, my body was like, you're not safe, you're not worthy, you're not secure. And so that's what was radiating out to my audience. So even though I did all that work, I still wasn't attracting any damn money. And I was like, what happened? And that was my discovery last year when I was in Divine Feminine. So you guys think you're laying in a pool, but reality is you've opened all the doors and windows, and now you're letting everything in, and you're like, ooh, what's that? Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're amazing at painting pictures. And this is so true what you're saying, because if we can, that is where the masculine energy, we also need some masculine energy to set boundaries. So we don't let in everything, that we don't attract everything. It's like filter out what we don't want, so we can manifest what we do want with ease. And I love what you're saying, like, I didn't feel safe of being in my body, because this is the major key as I'm working mostly with women. We women, because we are programmed to be masculine energy, which is head space, not heart space, and body space, which is feminine energy. We feel unsafe of being in body. We don't understand it. We don't want to be emotions. We have not talked about emotions. We are so used to be on head. So it feels unsafe to be here. It feels unsafe to be in the present moment. And this is what most people don't talk about. It's like, oh, you need to be in present moment. You need to be in present moment. Yes, but why don't you want to be in present moment? Because you don't feel safe.
Yeah.
You don't feel safe. And if you don't feel safe of being present moment and silent your mind, it will be very hard for you to manifest what you want, because you need to be that to manifest what you want with ease.
Right. And that safety also goes with the aspect of the good girl concept.
Oh yeah. Good
which,
girl avatar.
I was always considered highly sensitive. I get very emotional and stuff like that. And it was always like, oh, here she goes. She's crying again. She's and that starts making you feel insecure. I mean, it's unsafe. So now it's like, I don't have that feeling as much as I used to, but I used to be really ashamed when I would get emotional, or, because I knew I was being judged. And, that's just something that you were taught, like basically in a certain thing, it's almost as similar to with men. And, you can jump in on this too, is when men are told that they can't have emotions, or it's like, don't cry, like, it's like, toughen up, be a man. I don't even know what that means, but like, But these are the concepts and the beliefs that are being brought down over and over again, ancestor through ancestor, because this is just how it is. So to unwind all of that and to take that away and to strip it out and to really find what's authentic to you, because that's really what it is. It's not what's authentic to Viona or Johanna or me. It's what's authentic to you and feels right, and being comfortable in that. And that's something that you have to learn to do because it's been stripped away. Would you not? Would you feel that?
Or the program, you can't just undo a program. You have to replace the program with something higher.
Oh, yes. Yes, replace the program, not undo the program. Exactly. Because it's just like a computer. It's like there is an old system here and we need to cleanse it out and put in new things in there so we can start taking new actions, thinking new thoughts, creating new feelings, and taking more actions. And just like you said, that it's not just men that are raised to like don't cry, hold it in and stuff like that. This is where the paradigm shift is happening now, and this isolation and quarantine is forcing us even more to go into the shadow now and really face this shit. But it's like we are trained and to not talk about feelings. It's not okay to express feelings. It's like when we were kids and were trying to have a feeling and trying to explain. My moms were actually like worried about, okay, so what's wrong? What is wrong? But I'm just sad. If we could not just dramatize it from this early.
Yeah.
Because that is what happened when we are older. It's like, why am I sad? Maybe I'm depressed. Maybe I need to go in therapy. Maybe you just are fucking sad and that's okay.
Yeah.
You just need to, when you feel it, it's actually releasing. So just be with it and be like, okay, there you go. Let it go. But I did the same thing Viona did. I mean, I was talking about, you chase it. Why does my head hurt? Why am I crying? What's going on? What did I do? And you just go through the circle until you exhaust yourself and fall over and you're like, fuck it. I'm just going to cry.
and that is so typical what we're doing when it comes to feelings. And that is actually a trap with spiritual women too, I would say, because we are so usually have done a lot of healing work, invested a lot of money in it. So it's very easy to get lost in the trap to analyze your feelings instead of actually fucking feeling them.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, maybe it's this, but you're here. You're not in the body. So can you just feel the feelings without identify with a story that you believe is behind the feeling?
Yeah.
Right.
That is the key.
I call that holding space for yourself, when you just sit there and you just are like, I don't know what's going on, but I just need to feel it. And then before you know it, you're like, yep, that's over. I'm going to move on now.
Exactly.
Well, we're already a half an hour in. Do we want her to go into that masterclass? Because I know people want to know how to do 24 hours.
We do. That's the first thing I was going to say. Let's talk about this 24-hour business. How quickly we can do this.
Yes, how quickly. So it's actually that simple. It's really the key here. What we're talking about is feminine energy. That is the key to collapse time and space and really having what you want. For me also, and I will invite everyone to go to my website, manifestationdiva.com, and download my free ebook, Manifest Money in 24 Hours, where I talk about this even more. But for now, feminine energy is the fucking key, because that puts you in the receiving frequency. And what I see many people are also talking about is like, okay, so I put out a goal, like I want to manifest 10K in 24 hours. Usually what I see in this is that brings too much attachments to it. It brings too much masculine energy when you put a goal on it. And I can see that some people want to do that. But what I have seen in my teaching, and it's the same with you, Tanya, is to not any goals, no numbers, not at all. Just focus on being safe and being in the present moments, because then it will open up the doors that will bring money in. And what I see is usually what happens is that it become even wilder than you believe. Maybe you want to manifest $1,000 and then you end up manifesting 12K, like my client Vicky did in 24 hours, because she just wanted, and she couldn't even believe that. But that's what's happened because she didn't put up goals. So that is really, really the key.
Because the goals are expectations. When you set an expectation, and that's why I quit doing manifestation rituals, because through last year and all that downloading I did, the messages kept coming through. It doesn't matter what you say or put your mind to. It's a matter of what your whole body, your whole package, all parts and pieces of you make up a whole. And that whole being is going to radiate a dominant frequency. what dominant frequency is it vibrating to the universe? Is it one of safety and relaxation and open and play and I am worthy and I am ready? Or is it, oh my God, when's it going to get here? Is it going to, I need $10,000 by tomorrow. It's a way different energy.
That's the worst. The worst feeling when you know you need something right off the bat. You're like, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is why I try to not put up goals at all. But just like you said, it's an expectation. And expectation is a controlled outcome. It means that you're trying to control. And the key to manifest want is to let go of control.
Yeah.
It's the same with in relationship with men, masculine energy there as well. It's like, I want to have this and this, and you have all these expectations in your head. But if you just get away with them, he will step up even more and maybe come up with solutions and romantic weekends and stuff like that you had never even thought about, because you allowing so much else to come in when you don't try to control it with your head.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is why.
Like when you go to Amazon, you place an order, right? You placed your order. Are you going to sit there and stalk it and track it every day?
Okay.
I will be honest, I do.
Or are you going to be like, well, I ordered it. It's coming. It's on its way. Like it's two different mindsets, So celebrate. So it's like celebrate, detach, and just, it's something that if you're new to it, I will say for me, what I learned the most was you have to, when you be present every day, you can catch yourself in those moments, because let me tell you, and this is not the show for this, but you're awakening, you're still asleep. In your awakening, you are still asleep. When you hit that space of coming out of your awakening, then you're really waking up, and you'll feel the difference when that happens. So in those moments during the day that you think you're being present, you're actually falling asleep 800 times, and you're going into that mindset again.
Good way to describe it.
And so you have to practice presence, which is feminine energy. But it's divine feminine, because it's this, for me, divine feminine is, I'm going to stand there poised and confident, quiet and compassionate, but you're going to know I ain't fucking around. You know what I mean? Like it's that energy that you walk in and you command attention, and you're waiting for your servants to come and bring you your shit. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of energy. And so anytime I get myself trapped, in my mind, I always say, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, and just take a breath and be like, okay, I can set this down right now. And then I just move on. And I realized that it was just a collective thought passing through, that I was like, oh, what's that? Let me look at that. And I just got trapped up in it. You know what I mean? So being present is like in that energy of that divine feminine is just such an important aspect of everyday living. Forget just about money.
Wow. Yeah, you're so right with that. We so many times believe that we're present when we actually are falling asleep. I love how you express that, because we are so many times zombie walking without knowing it. And I call that your good girl avatar is coming in. And she's like, you're slipping into like wounded feminine, like, okay, but I can just relax, and that. And you can feel like foggy in your mind. But for me, it's like the difference between divine feminine and wounded feminine is like divine feminine is connection. I mean, she connects, so she's not separated.
Yeah.
Or attached.
So exactly. So so when I feel connected to everyone and everything like this, I don't have to like it, but I feel connected. Then it's divine feminine, and that is where you manifest what you want. But when I feel separation, when I feel like people are so far away, they can't hear me, or I can't hear them, I don't know what to do. This is not present moment. This is wounded feminine. This is you hiding and sleepwalking, just like you said, Johanna. And that is not divine feminine. So it's really about being in the body, really being in the body, and having all parts connected, reunited, so you can be present here and not be scared if the reality that you're facing right now isn't maybe what you want, but you are like, I can take it. I can take it because I know I'm safe. I know this is just a step. I know this is just mistakes doesn't exist. It's just an illusion. It's taking me in the exact direction that I need to go. So I'm safe. I know how we work this out. I know my order on Amazon is already made. I know that post office is coming here any minute with my order. Because
because let's be honest, if you're stressing out because you don't have any money, that you don't feel safe, you're in survival mode, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you just so what do people do? Do they just spend the day figuring out ways to feel safe. Because I will have a lot of students that will be like, I need to know the how, because that's what I do. I give the how. So with the how, would you tell them to like spend a day just doing things that allow them to feel that safety in their body and that relaxation and not set that intention? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so Tanya, you can actually help me with this because I mean, you have done this.
Yeah, so, that's why I'm smirking. So listen, I took Viona's Goddess Throne workshop, and I learned the powers of feminine energy. And I will be honest, when I took the workshop, I didn't even realize I had a one-on-one session with Viona, and she was kind enough to remind me, and it actually happened. The reminder happened when I needed it, of course, the most. But one of my goals was relocating to a completely different state, and trusting that I would be able to still have a job, still have security, still be able to follow my dreams and still get there.
But set the stage for them, because you were not in your home. Like, you had a lot of survival things that could have triggered the shit
I had
out
a
of you.
huge amount of survival things. I had gone through a divorce. I was living with my roommates. I didn't have a house. I sold my house. All my belongings was in storage. I mean, I literally was living like a minimalist. So it's, I was taking Viona's workshop in my car during lunch break, just because, I set my mind to it. I had a lot of things that I also ignored, because I was scared to face. Primarily, a lot of it had to do with finances. I had a lot of shame for being in the amount of debt that I was in, for making the decisions that I chose to make. So that was huge for me, to be able to face that. I was not a person who asked for help. I like to do things on my own. And throughout that entire journey, I forced myself to relax a little bit and ask for help and be okay with people's responses to help. And all of this opened up with reminders and a lot of stuff that Viona had taught me. But one of the things was that one-on-one session. I was pretty much at the point where I knew all these lessons. I got to this point. I was sitting in my car. I didn't have a house. I could not manifest the amount of money I needed to relocate, but I got that far. I literally had gotten that far. So now I'm like, where is this coming from? I had just started to open up and do a YouTube channel for my tarot channel. And I also had, we started the breakdown as well. So there was a lot of different changes that were going on. And I recall that I was like, I'm doing everything, but I feel like I can't, like, when is it going to happen? What's going to go in place? How am I going to come up with this money? I was so focused on not having enough of anything. And so I'm having the session with Viona, and she's hearing me basically I was literally word vomiting to her.
You were purging the ego.
And she's like, can you just take a fucking day off? And I'm staring at her like, what? And she's like, take a fucking day off. Like, why are you let's step back here. What is your inner child saying to yourself now? Meaning my future inner child, right? Like, what is she telling you right now? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, she's telling me to take a fucking day off.
She wants to play.
And she's like, yeah, take a day off. So I did. I took the day off. And when I did it, I also made an action on there too, which was some of my masculine energy, because there was things that I was fearful of. Like, I had let my taxes, like, I had not done my taxes, for over, I was late. I took an extension on it because I just went through a divorce, and the first time I was filing single on my taxes. And I just felt like I was broken about it. Like, I was just disheartened about it. It was the first time that was like, I was doing something else on my own.
Resistance to doing that.
Huge resistance on it. And I kept ignoring it. And I said, yeah, I'll get to it. I put an extension on it. And I just felt like I always owed money. So I didn't want to do it. And I decided that day, I was like, I'm going to take the day off, and I'm going to do my taxes. So I went to an accountant and I did my taxes. And I still remember sitting at the table because I was giving her my information. And then she's like, okay, well, where do you want the refund? And I was like, wait, what? She's like, the refund. Like, I had completely gotten to this mindset that I wasn't getting anything in return. And she had said at that point, she's like, no, you got like $3,500 here in a refund. And my jaw dropped, because at that point I needed that money to relocate. And It came
I think
in.
that was like really close to the exact amount you needed too.
Oh yeah, it was close to the exact amount I needed. And then that same night, took the day off, right? And I was doing stuff for the YouTube channel, and I had posted a bunch before that. And usually I used to check every day on my YouTube just to see how things are going. I literally just started this channel out. And I literally forgot about it that day. And I was like, oh, let me go in there. And I went in, I was like, what the hell happened here? All of a sudden I had over 300 subscribers going in there. And I was like, something went viral.
That's
on a video that I did not expect, that I had no expectations on. That's the one that went viral. So that was the other thing. And I said, this is really wonky. Just going to take it. I'm happy about it. And then I decided to go live on my Harmonia Tarot channel. And I used to go live and just be there for people. And I never felt really right about it because, listen, I am an entrepreneur. I am somebody who I established a photography business for over 15 years. I never took free for free. I was not that kind of person, but I was like, why would I be giving everything out for free if that's the way it is? And I said, you know what? I feel good about just asking for a donation. So I did that. I said, guys, I'm asking for a donation if you want my energy tonight. And I was shocked with how much donations I got that night, like shocked by it. But that's something where I was just giving it out for free. Like this is and I was exhausted by the end of it. I was actually energized by the end of that session because it was an equal give and take. And that was such a profound thing for me to realize was I finally had an equal give and take. And I was always the person that gave, and I never received. And if I did receive, it was too much and it felt almost overwhelming to me because I was not used to it.
Yeah.
Or you weren't worthy of it, right? You're like, what did I do to deserve this? I didn't do anything.
No. And, and when I got help and I got, my family helped me to get on this. And I used to feel guilty about stuff like that. And then I was like, why am I feeling guilty about this? I deserve to have a new start. And so that was a completely different shift from where I was 2 or even 5 years ago, because I wouldn't have made those leaps. I wouldn't have taken that. So I really am appreciative of what Viona had just said to me, which was being raw and saying, why don't you take a fucking day off? Because I needed that. I really needed that slap in the face because it was like,
because we've been trained to fix it.
Yeah.
To fucking fix it, and just that's, if you look at a woman and man's relationship, what do you think the biggest problem is? The woman just wants to be heard and the man just wants to fix, you see? And so then there's that battle. But there's one other thing I wanted to say real quick, because it's such an important thing that Tanya said. She was, and as her friend and sister, Tanya and I were very close. What I'll tell you is she was so resistant to these taxes, you guys. Like she was so resistant. But if you follow me, you know what I say. And that is the thing you resist the most holds the most opportunities and possibilities. It holds the greatest potential. Yes. The things you resist are the things you actually need. So think about the things that you resist so much every day. And what opportunities and possibilities can be there. Because for her, in 24 hours, she had exactly what she needed.
Yes.
Because she surrendered to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I believe, was it 5K total and 400?
Yeah. It was close to about 5,000 that I got within there. So.
And what you did was this is what I believe, that we are interacting in a parallel system, a universe where it's different parallel worlds. And this is why I love to connect with our future self and ask ourselves to see ourselves as our own oracles. And so I'm not here, to give exactly like you should do this, Tanya. I don't do that. Instead, what I'm doing is that I'm coaching you and teaching you and connecting with your raw intuition that leads you to take actions. And that doesn't have to be like do. It can be just take a fucking day off, like you received, like take a fucking day off. But when you did that, you could also download solutions, because that is what happened in feminine energy. Yeah. Feminine energy is the receiving of downloads. So if you want a solution, you need to be in feminine energy also to receive it, because
you can't give and receive at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was what you did. You take a day off. You were like, okay, I let go of this completely. I can't obsess about it anymore. And then it's starting to come to you. solutions, like, oh, maybe I should do this tax refund. Oh, I really, really don't want to do taxes. I avoided so long, but I just feel I want to do it. And maybe I should do a live call on YouTube. Yeah, I can do
Because that's
that.
like
And then,
play energy too. That's the
yeah,
Yes,
creative.
your inner child.
Creative.
It's you're being
exactly.
creative.
And you didn't even had an expectation on making money on it. You just follow your intuition. And this is
Yeah.
where most people get stuck, because
Yep.
they hear their intuition, but they don't do it.
Yeah.
They don't act on it like you
Yeah.
did. They don't do it. They feel scared of it. It's like, I self-sabotage. I don't want to do it. This is just my ego, or whatever it is. The voice is telling. They separate fear and intuition. So they can't see the difference between them. They're choosing fear instead of intuition. And what you did was that you were connecting with your raw intuition. That was why it was so fucking powerful for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Vicky, I'll say that's probably not the right words I was using, give and receive. It's this is what I always say. If you're holding on to something, your hand's not open to accept something. So it's probably not give and receive at the same time. I think I might have said that out of context. It's more of, if you're holding on to something, you can't open your hand to receive, right? So your window can't be shut and open at the same time. Same thing.
Yeah. Exactly. And that is what fear is happening when we are focusing so much on the how and are attached to the outcome. What's happening is, and it sucks. I know it sucks, but it's like when you're like this and fight mode, you can't receive what you want. You can't receive 10K when you at the same time are scared as fuck to receive it. It's like, I don't want to. Okay. So the money is going away because you hear it, don't open a window. So it's like, it sucks, but we this is the key. We really need to do the uncomfortable things. It's not the answer is not to hustle. It's not the hustle. It's actually to do less. And that is uncomfortable. It's really, really fucking uncomfortable to not hustle, to slow down, to take a nap and just lie there. The first time you take a nap when you have never done that before, when you have worked maybe 8 hours a week for, decades, and you lie there and like, what the fuck am I doing? How can I do this? It's hard. It's hard to be in it because it's just like practice with everything.
For me right now, I'm at a point in my business in life where I'm coming into that balanced state of both, where I'm like, now when I'm getting ready to record 2 courses, and I thought, you know what, moving forward, this is how I'm going to do it, is if the more work I have to put in to promoting this, and the more work I have to put into any of that, besides the value that I've already put into the course, the more the money, the more the cost of the course is going to be. Right. So the more work I put into something, the more I'm going to charge for it. And the more I have to advertise and put out there, the more I'm going to charge for it, because my energy is valuable. Right. Because energy, money, time, it's all the same fucking thing. It's all the same energy. It's a matter of, you're going to exchange either time for money or money for time or energy for time. It's, you know what I mean? So it's pick how you want to do it. But for me, I was giving all of my time. I was giving away all of my energy, and I wasn't getting anything. And I was like, this is not working for me, And so this year it's been a complete restructure. And this conversation is just so important. So I'm so happy you're here.
Would you find that, because I mean, there's a lot of entrepreneurs on here who also have a day job and do their side business. It's, kind of what I do. One of the things that I notice with me, because I like to do a lot of different things, and if something burns me out, then I know I'm not in the right path. But the difference is when I do a lot of different things, I'm also very energetic, and it doesn't feel like a job to me. So I can do a lot of different things. I'm not using the same kind of headspace for every single thing that I'm doing. Do you find that the success in that is just allowing it to be, or is because, it's a balance, right? So you're doing something on there. One of the things that I know as a person who is like that, the struggle I have is not the struggle of there's not enough time. It's a struggle of what feels right every day. Would you say that you should listen to yourself as to what you want to do or spend more time on to that day for those people who are feeling limited on their success on those different areas? Does that make sense?
Yes, I believe I understand. You ask yourself what you want to do more than what you want to give to your clients. It's like entrepreneurs are like, we are very programmed to think like, I need to give to my clients. I need to think about being the version for my clients. And I understand the thought about that, but this is really a trap, because how you want to do your business, how you want to show up, how easy or how fun you want to make money. This is your choice, and people will be attracted to it. So I believe that anything you're doing, like my wedding company, I love doing it, but I was hustling so much. I was, working my ass off that it killed all my motivation and inspiration. It just
killed your passion.
Exactly, it killed the passion. And that is the same with everything. People that are burned out, it's not because they hate their jobs. It's not because it's actually because they love their jobs. But the good girl avatar are like whipping them behind, like you have to do this and you have to show up like this and you have to not say this, but this you can say and this can you share, but not this. So she's putting on all these ridiculous limits and you have no fucking idea who you are, and it doesn't feel fun to show up because you believe that you have to do it in a certain way.
Yeah. And you know what? This is something that I'm going to bring in because it's something that I'm going to be talking about on my channel soon. And it is the whole, and you guys are my followers. This is going to be something you never heard me say before, but I'm about to say it.
Here she goes. She's dropping a bomb.
The joke of spirituality. It's a fucking joke. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you wake up and you're in victim and you're like, what the fuck has been happening? Like you see all this shit, right? And you go into this energy of, you go like I did, you go through the mindset work and then you go way deep into that feminine energy and you do just that, Viona. You come into that good girl. I can't do this because I'm spiritual. I can't do this because I'm spiritual, blah, blah, blah. And I felt, and I'm going to be super vulnerable and honest right now, I felt fucking trapped like motherfucker in that energy. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I said, why can't I have this part of me and this part of me and this part of me? And my team came in and said, you already are all that. You are multidimensional. You have to give yourself permission to be who you are in all aspects. And when I started showing this aspect of me a couple of weeks ago, I lost a ton of followers because I allowed my badass and all the different parts of me to blend together and just be who I wanted to be. And literally I lost probably 100 people on Facebook. I lost a bunch of people in my group. I lost a bunch of people in my paid membership. And I was just like, I don't care because I am not, spirituality is a way of life. It's who you are altogether. Spirituality means all the doors are open, all the windows are open, and I'm just going to be free. Right? It's not this, I have to do these kind of good girl things. I can't eat meat and I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do this. And I just said, that's a fucking trap. Like ego trap. And I was like this. I'm done. And but the funny thing happened is the moment I did that, I did it alongside some, like the past 2 weeks have been I've like gone through a huge shift. And it was like I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I've been asleep for the last 8 years. And I thought I was awake. And I was like, oh no, I was asleep. It's a crazy thing. And so I love that you call it the good girl and killing off that good girl because it all needs to happen. Y'all just kill her.
Yeah. I feel like you need to, I feel like you need to patent it. In fact, when I do a lot of, because, my readings, there's a certain way certain tarot readers can go. I like to be able to educate to some aspect too. So I bring feminine, masculine energy in all the time in my readings because, you can just pinpoint it on individuals, and the good girl thing comes out all the time. And the one thing that I would love to hear from you is, because I'm sure you've had many different clients have this good girl attitude. Is there anyone or any kind of thing that you can share with us that was so profound for one of your clients that had kind of pursued this whole concept and kind of broke it down? Is there do you have a good example of that or a favorite story?
Yes, I have many examples about it because I will share a very new story that I love, because the good girl avatar, as I call it, is that she is so scared to be judged. She's scared of being judged. She worries about what other people think about her clients, people, her moms, and all this. And she's showing up with these old filters on her. And that is why it's so hard for you to get what you want. So the key is to fucking kill her and become
sounds so harsh.
And become your future rich bitch is that, and taking actions like her. And so what we are doing when we're working with me is that we are going through all these limited beliefs and all these shoulds and musts and have tos that you're putting on yourself. Your good girl avatar is allowing you to take. so you can become who you really are.
Mm.
And we have Honor, who have done Goddess Throne, my mastermind Goddess Throne, who manifested over $1 million in value in 90 fucking days. It's the
Holy shit.
Yes.
Dang.
Biggest success story. It was a luxurious apartment. It was, free parking. It was a 100K job. It was amazing shift. It was gift discounts, amazing. And she had to go through this process also, to stop giving a fuck what other people were thinking, her mother, her father, people, her boyfriend and all this, to get to this level and really bring out her bitch. So another woman that I work with in another mastermind, I have Good Girl Murder that you have talked about, which really killing good girl avatars.
Good Girl Murder. Love it.
Is that where you go to kill the good girl?
Exactly.
I feel like there needs to be a title of a movie or something. A dark comedy.
When I got that title, I was like, yes. And that was actually fun when I got the title, because when I was doing that program and channeling to that program, I was like, okay, I need to call it, the outcome have to be shown in that title, like manifest your 6-figure business, lazy money or something like that, because that is what I am programmed as a coach. That is what you have to do. And I was like, but I don't want to do that. Because it's boring. I don't want that. I want it to call Good Girl Murder, and I want a picture of a woman who's kissing a bloody knife with fire sunglasses on. I want that.
Well, I mean, you're going to get attention with that, right? People are going to stop and look whether they want it or not.
Exactly. But I was scared. I was actually scared doing that. I was scared to be judged. I was very scared to be misunderstood, that people would think that I was fucking crazy. I mean, what the fuck is happening with Viona? And this was one of the biggest launches that I have had, the most successful ones also. And people loved that. And one of the things was that people were also saying they loved the graphic. They understood. The people that went into the program understood what I mean. They were so tired of this good girl, nice syndrome, to always giving, doing, and being perfect and polite and always smile and all this.
Yeah.
And to, stop that. And so the key is really to stop giving a fuck about what other people are thinking. And that is really what I'm teaching my clients. Stop caring about what other people are thinking, if it's self-sabotage or whatever it is, and just do you. And that is the key to manifest what you want.
And I've been doing that, you guys, for about 2.5 weeks now. And this month is not over. And I've made $5,000 this month. I finally got my money back flowing. And I have done like the least amount of work I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
And it's not, I'm working behind the scenes, but I'm in the creative energy, or I'm resting because I'm doing a big integration right now. But I'll tell you, it's freeing. It's freeing. And I just think that it's so awesome. How open you are, and you're just like, I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. I love it.
And what is true to you too? Like I think, and I know we're getting close on time here, but one example I wanted to give, when Johanna and I started the breakdown, she was really way ready than I was to do it, because I was going through all the transition. She's like, well, whenever you're ready. And then finally, when I said I was ready, she was like, yeah, let's do it. But even when we started doing it, and I started, because I'm a I calculator. I'm a project manager in my day job. So this is what I do. I manage stuff. So I'm looking at what we all wanted to do. And we originally were going to do an edited show. And then both of us were like, I don't want to fucking edit. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And then we're like, why are we even tried to record, I think 2 shows.
2 shows did not record.
Did not record. We tried. We're like, what's going on?
And the other one got fucked up.
Yeah. And then we're like, fuck this. Let's just go live. And we were like, let's just be real. Let's not edit it. Let's just go with it. And I'll be honest. Now I'm a producer. So, I went to film school. We don't do non-editing. We edit our shit. So I took this and I went, well, I want to do this with my vlog. I kind of want to do this with my tarot. I don't want to edit either. I just want to be in front of the camera, because I never was. I was always behind the camera. I was a photographer for years, my biggest thing was doing video, like mirror work. I literally would record myself talking to myself, because it was the first time I was facing myself. That was a huge thing for me. So I do want to just say that if there's any little aspect that you were trying to take to switch in your life, the tiniest thing can make a huge difference, just like Viona saying, within 24 hours. So yes, I do believe that it's possible. I obviously have happened to me. Johanna's lived through it. She's seen manifestation things that have
I
happened.
have
But
manifested some crazy shit.
yeah. So, with the time that we have, is there any kind of tip or exercise that you feel guided to at least give out or for people to try at home to see, even if it's a small thing, just that they can make a change if they choose to?
It's very easy, actually. The hardest thing is to do it. And that is to ask yourself, what would my future self do?
If you were already successful, what would you do?
If I already had 50K or 10K or whatever it is that you want, or if I already was married, would I do this? Would I buy this dress? Would I go on a date with this man? Would I take on this client? If I knew I was safe, if I knew that I had the money I wanted already, would I post this? Would I create this program? Is to ask yourself, what would I really do? Because your future rich bitch, she already knows.
Right.
She already knows. She's already taken this in the parallel reality where she already succeeded. So she already knows the steps. She already knows how to take that. So she is your biggest, best guide to see. And that was what you were doing, Tanya. You take steps like her.
Yeah.
You were channeling, taking intuition like that. And that can come from, okay, so I want to take a day off. I should nap more today. I should go to this to watch this movie or this party. Then maybe you meet the love of your life. Who knows? Or a brand new client who wants to sign up for your 10K package. Who fucking knows? Ask yourself all the time, what would my future rich bitch do? And ask her, because you are right now taking action as a good girl avatar.
And then don't fight with yourself about it, for crying out loud. I did that. Then you fight with yourself. Well, just do it.
Just do it. For love of God, just do it.
Listen.
Because that is the key. Because that is where everyone are stumbling. And that is that they're starting to doubt themselves. They're starting to doubt the intuition. This is crazy.
Right.
I can't do this. This is not my intuition. This is my ego. This is self-sabotage. I'm lazy. Blah, blah, blah. All this is coming. Just take the fucking leaps. Just take the steps. Listen to that fucking bitch.
So for the people who are open to this right now, who had notebooks ready for a workshop class and realize how simple that is, they're probably like, what the fuck? But I'm telling you, do it, because it will be the what the fuck moment of basically positive outcomes happening for you. So I do believe that this stuff does work if you can switch it. So it is about, and that's the thing. You can fall back into it. You can easily fall back into those beliefs. But
that's the whole problem I was talking about. Like, this is the pattern, that's what I do. I get down to that root pattern. So you have that pattern that's there. When you break that pattern, what you do next is everything. So you can either reinstall the old shit, the old program, or you can be methodical, you can be patient, you can be present, and you can choose what new program you install. And that sometimes is going to take a few weeks. You didn't learn how to ride a bike overnight. You didn't learn how to cook overnight. You had to practice. So practice doing this. It's no different.
Yeah, exactly. So we are at the tail end. Viona,
we could talk to her for hours.
Seriously, we could talk for you for hours, and I will be happy to have you back on the show for sure if you're open to it. Just for
I would love to come back.
Even just different concepts, but like this is just there's so much profound stuff in here and success stories from so many women that you've worked with that.
Including our own Tanya.
Yeah, including me. But how I just want to give you a shameless plug here as to how people can reach you. I have your website here, manifestationdiva.com, for those of you listening, and I put it on the site here so that, and this will all be in the description box below, guys, to reach out to her. But is there anything going on right now that people can jump on that you can talk about, or if you'd like to spread anything else out that's going on in the world?
Yes. Exactly. Goddess Troll, my mastermind, that exactly the same program that Tanya took and the same that Anna took, who manifested $1 million in value in 90 days, is enrolling. So we have still spots open. And the investment to join is $3,500 if you sign up before 31st May. After that, the price will go up a lot. So if you are interested to join, you can just message me and I will give you more details about it.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. We are so excited for anybody who joins in there. I get excited when I see, because I'm still part of your group. So when I see the people signing up, and I get excited for them. I really do. And I've had a couple who've actually reached out to me because they know I've taken the course before, and it's longer now too, right? It's like 6 months now, is it? Am I correct in saying that?
No. It's still 3 month journey.
Oh, it's 3 months. It's 3 months journey.
3 months. It's something we're lagging with the technology. I hope we can make it work before we end this call. Yes, it's a 3 month.
It's 3 months.
Cool. What we're going to do is that 3 months. And this is a very exclusive, very triggering the shit out of you, really burning down all good girl avatars fucked up beliefs about money and remove all the must and shoulds. It's a lot of mother healing, a lot of I don't give a fuck about what my mother is saying, because it's actually the key to manifesting money the easy way, and to build your really stepping into your purpose, really build and become an entrepreneur and really make a shit ton of money in your business. That is what we're going to do. Block is about it. It's a lot of spiritual time travel as well. We're not connecting with your future self and taking actions like her to manifest the money you want, really collapsing time and space and take a shortcut to manifest the money you want.
Awesome. I'm sure it's quite evolves probably in every workshop that you do, which is amazing because you've evolved. So it's really cool to watch. All right. Well, thank you so much. Just a reminder, guys, we are going to be live tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Our normal day and time.
Yeah, our normal day and time. We will try to be chirpy. I think the last time we were a little bit lagged, but we have Ashley and Bella on discussing the intro for Gene Keys. So that will be exciting. And we will see you guys next time. Take care, guys.
Bye.